This video is how to use OKX Earn, which is a way to invest our crypto on the platform to earn some extra yield and interest rates. What are we actually doing to earn these interest rates and what are the risks? I'm going to go through all of that in this video, plus all of these different ways to actually invest our crypto. I'll explain what they are. I'll leave timestamps for all of that down in the description. Assuming you already have an OKX account, if you're looking to use the Earn platform, it's Grow up here and then Earn, and then it takes us through to this page. If you don't have an OKX account, I'll leave a link below to a bonus. If you are a new user, you can check the details via that link. I'll also leave some of the other platforms I use down there with some bonuses. But from here, essentially we have a list of crypto assets that we can invest in some way, and then estimated APR or annual percentage rate. This is used interchangeably with APY, annual percentage yield. But essentially these rates are giving us an annualized figure of the amount of yield that we can get if we invest. So if you invested for a 12-month period, that would be the rate, right? That's how much you would earn on top of what you invested. Now, most of these products don't run for a year, and some of the interest rates are variable over time. So we have to consider that and factor that into any decisions that we make about what we want to invest. The main way to invest here is using Simple Earn. Simple Earn is actually lending. So if we go to Simple Earn, you can see that feature here. But if we actually come down and just click Products and then Simple Earn, it gives us a better overview of the assets that we can invest. So as you can see, there's a lot right here. Now, Simple Earn is lending your crypto to other people on OKX. So if you have USDT, a stable coin, a lot of people on OKX, other traders, actually borrow dollars. Now, the reason they do that is because they're using margin or they're trading in the futures market or the options market, which tend to use leverage, which is where people borrow and pay an interest to take some sort of trading position. If we have these assets, we can lend them out to those traders. They're borrowing from us and paying an interest back to us. OKX kind of sits in the middle right here and makes sure that anyone trading on leverage and borrowing our money can pay it back. The way they do that is through liquidations on the trading platforms to make sure that no one gets into a bad debt. So if all is working well, these people should be paying us an interest rate, but they should also have some collateral to back that loan. And if their trading positions go into a loss where they can't pay back the funds, OKX will sell out of their positions and they should have the funds to pay us back, obviously, plus any interest that was accrued over that time. This is kind of pooled lending. So you're not lending to one individual. It's kind of a pooled rate between supply and demand for these assets. So what are the risks right here? Well, there's two risks really. The first one is we have our assets on a centralized platform. That is a risk. And the second risk is that somehow the loans on the platform go bad and they can't be paid back. Now, in that scenario, OKX has lots of funds, kind of insurance funds as well, to make sure that that doesn't happen. So OKX has been going a very, very long time. Pretty much one of the oldest exchanges. They haven't had any issues throughout bear markets and everything like that. So, I personally think OKX is a good exchange to use. You can see they're number 2 in the industry right here in terms of assets held. So they're a big firm, but we have to take that as a risk. It's a centralized exchange. And so we just have to keep that in mind if we want our assets on there or not. Different assets have different yields, as you can see, because the supply and demand is different between them. And they may also have flexible and fixed. So if you go to Simple Earn, go to all terms, you can see flexible and fixed here. But we'll just click all terms because then you can see each of the assets. So as an example here, USDT. If we click the drop down, we have Simple Earn. We have 10% here and then 3.83%. You also have a savings starter, which I think is just a kind of introductory bonus. So if you subscribe there, you see the term is 3 days. You can get a very high interest rate. I think it's essentially just try and get people in to use the platform. But you can put an amount in if you have it in your account. Now, if you are a new user to OKX, I've got a beginner's guide. I'll leave that link below as well. 30% is a yearly rate. You're only getting that for 3 days. So you can put an amount in here. You can see the subscription time and the expiry would be 3 days after that. You can subscribe and the money comes out into your account plus the interest of those 3 days. That's an introductory thing. Usually though, you can see the options here, Simple Earn, 10% and 3.83%. So let's click subscribe here. This is Simple Earn. And for right here, we have the amount. It's actually 2%, but you can see a bonus. So anything up to $1,000 would earn a 10% annual rate. And then anything over that goes to 2%. Now you can actually change this if you want as well. So what we'll do is put an amount in here, right? Any amount that we have. And this is under the tier 1. So we earn that 10%. Anything over that would go back to 2. Now what we can do is actually tell the system the minimum interest rate that we want to lend our dollars at. So if you look at the historical APR, you can see the historical APR does change. It goes from 1% up to 4% because this is just a interest rate based on supply and demand on the platform from people that want to borrow, people that want to lend. And so what we can say to the platform is, I'm happy to lend out my assets, but the minimum amount that I'm willing to lend out is 3%. And so if the demand on the platform is around 2%, the supply and demand has that interest rate around 2%, you won't lend out any of your assets. It's going to wait until the interest rate and the demand is there to actually lend your assets at 3% and someone's paying 3%. So you can have this as you want. Obviously underneath 1,000 right here, at the current time anyway, would have a bonus. That may not be available when you're watching this, but you can just tell the platform, I'm willing to lend out my assets. The min lending is 3% and I'm happy to wait. Now you can change this around obviously to anything that you want if you just want to get it done. And then what we can do is agree and then subscribe. That would be for flexible savings, flexible in that you aren't locked up. You can withdraw your loan at any time and take your money out from that flexible loan. This one at the bottom here is actually a fixed term loan, obviously with your funds locked up in that fixed term. So you can see the term up here is now 30 days. So the amount that we can invest is any amount that we want. And the lending APR, we actually have to choose this. Now you can see the APR in the past hour is 3.83%. So let's click on that. You can see again, supply and demand does change the rate over time. So we can actually say, hey, I'm okay at 4%, or I'm actually going to wait and try and get a higher percent. So let's do something like 6%, press confirm. So now what we're saying is essentially you're putting an offer out into the market saying, I've got an amount of money that you can borrow at 6%. Now, if the current rate is 4%, you're not going to get your trade filled. But if the rate goes up and there's more demand, pushes the interest rate up, when someone wants to trade with you, you're going to lend them money at 6%. And then the fixed term is 30 days, right? So that goes in and you can toggle auto renewal on and off. So if you're happy to lend for 30 days and that's it, do not put this on because this is going to auto renew with your terms, right? So after 30 days, the money comes back to you plus the interest. If you want to just have that offer again, then it's going to auto renew and money's going to be locked up for another 30 days. So if you don't want that, just leave this toggled off. But essentially choose an amount, choose the lending APR that you're happy to lend at, whether that's around the market or not. And then once that's done, you can just press confirm. Your offer goes out into the market. If it's matched, then your funds will be locked up. If it's not, then it will just be an offer in the market waiting for someone to borrow money at the interest rate that you want to sell them money at. Now we'll move on to Onchain Earn, which is mostly staking some cryptos directly through OKX. If you're not comfortable with using blockchains, this is actually a really good feature to simplify staking some cryptos. So if you go to products and then Onchain Earn, you can see them here. So a lot of proof of stake coins or other types of coins will pay staking rewards. Again, I wouldn't invest in something because the staking rewards are high. That's actually usually not a great sign. But if I have the coins anyway, then getting the staking rewards is something I would want to do. Now, again, you can do this on the respective blockchains, but if you have smaller amounts or you just don't want to do that, you can do it directly through OKX. So let's choose a coin right here. So we can see ApeCoin staking. So if you have this coin, you can just very simply go ahead and subscribe. So if you have the coin, right, the estimated APR is 16%. You can put an amount in here and just press subscribe. Now, there usually are some lockups here and some redemption periods. So as we can see, the redemption period for this coin is about a day, so not too bad. So if you withdraw you have to wait a day to actually get the coins back and then be able to move them around or trade them. If we look at some other coins here like Polkadot, again, you can go and subscribe on that blockchain. Stake DOT to get real on-chain rewards. Redemption takes 29 days, which is a long time, right? So if you're staking here, you want to unlock, it's going to take you a whole month to unlock. Now, there are some ways around that on the blockchain, but we won't get into that in this video. Essentially, if you're using OKX, it's going to take a long time to unlock. So just consider whether you want to lock up your funds or not. Most of these coins would be helping to stake them. So subscribe here, right? On-chain rewards. You're looking to stake here 2 to 9 days for the redemption period. So each coin is different. If we go up to dollars, now these aren't a blockchain. This is just tokenized US dollars. So what can we actually do here? Right here, you can see this compound. This is using a DeFi protocol. So what OKX is actually going to help us do here is use a lending protocol without actually having to use a blockchain ourselves. So Compound is a DeFi protocol. If you want to know how to use Compound with wallets, then I'll leave that video down below so you can see that. But this is a borrow lending protocol. And instead of using it with wallets and having to do that, OKX just uses it for us. And this is just a front end that we can use that makes it very simple. The APR on Compound is variable. For right now, it's 11% on dollars. So if you do have some USDT, you can put that amount in and you can see subscribe now. And the redemption period is just around a day or a few hours, right? So that interest rate would be variable, but we're using OKX as kind of a front end to simplify things. We don't have to use a blockchain or anything like that. We're just using DeFi through OKX. So that may be an option for you as well. But these are all on-chain, right? So we're using OKX as a front end to simplify staking or using DeFi protocols. OKX also have a separate section for ETH staking if you do want to stake Ethereum directly through their platform. So if we go to ETH staking here, and then click this, it's the only option, so we can press subscribe. It takes us through to the ETH page. Now, this is staking ETH directly on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's not lending, it is staking, and we get the staking rewards back. What OKX are actually doing is staking our ETH with Binance or Binance's validators. You can see BETH right here. This is a receipt token that we get to represent how much ETH we're staking on the blockchain. So instead of taking our ETH, putting it into a wallet, and then using some operator to stake it, we can just do it directly through OKX. Binance are actually staking the ETH on their validators, and they give us the BETH back, which is ETH with the staking rewards. Current APR is 3.1%. So you have essentially a one-for-one token with ETH. If you had 1 ETH, you still have 1 ETH, plus you're going to get 3% per year of those staking rewards. So if we press stake now, you can see the ETH-BETH ratio is 1-to-1, and you just get the staking rewards here. So you can put an amount in, and then daily subscription, the redemption period is 2 to 9 days. So that's very similar. Most centralized exchanges have this sort of thing now where you can take your ETH and stake it. There are many different staking providers. You've got Binance, Lido, Mantle, and many others where you can just put your ETH in and they give you the staking token back. So OKX is using Binance's version right here, and that's in your account earning staking rewards. Now, you can use this as collateral. So if you trade on the platform, if you trade futures or anything else where you have collateral in your account, this can be used as collateral to fund any of your margin or futures positions, which is good. However, for right now, you cannot withdraw this from the platform. So if you have like a OKX Web3 wallet or another wallet that you use, you can't withdraw this from OKX right now. They may enable that in the future. Some other platforms like Binance and Bybit with their staking tokens like Staked ETH or Binance's BETH, you can withdraw them into your wallet as well. But if you're just using the centralized platform, maybe it's okay for you just to have your ETH in here, earning some staking rewards in your platform as well. Now, what you can do here is redeem, and it's going to take, it's 2 to 9 days. But because BETH is its separate token, you can actually go and trade it immediately. So if you go to trade, you can trade BETH against ETH or USDT or USDC, whatever the pairs are, and you can just immediately trade out of your staked ETH. If you want to sell out for your fiat currency, or if you want to withdraw something from the platform, you can just trade that directly on the trade platform. And then you have the asset right there and you can withdraw it immediately. Within the OKX Earn platform as well, they have structured products. And these are the products where you get these potentially very, very high yields as an annualized rate. Now, actually, this isn't lending and it isn't staking. It's marketed somewhat as an interest rate, but that's actually not what it is. These strategies are very highly complex options trading strategies and derivatives strategies where you are having a mix of buying and or selling calls and puts. The reason is that you're trying to earn options premiums out of the market. Now, unlike lending and staking, there is risk here because you're taking strategies on where you may actually have to trade assets at the end of it when the options expire, either selling USDT for Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin for USDT. And so these are very highly complex and they involve much more risk of loss and trading compared to lending and staking. It's much too complex for this video. I'll leave some videos on how these work down in the description below. You can check the OKX playlist as well if you want to know more about that. But these are very unsuitable for most investors. I'll also leave the OKX link down below and the other deposit bonuses to the exchanges I use in the description. I'm James, this is ManagerG. Cheers for watching and I'll see you in the next one.